Coming to you from Annapolis, Maryland, home of the U.S. Naval Academy, the sailing capital of the world, home of the world's largest crab feast, and 4 signers of the Declaration of Independence. This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, a daily roundup of local news that you can use, including local sports, local events, local opinion, and local weather from DMV Weather. Now here's your host, publisher of Eye on Annapolis, John Frenaye.
If you're lucky, you only have 3 more shopping days. Hello, it is Friday, December 22nd. This is John Frenaye, publisher of Eye on Annapolis, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Just a quick programming note, we are going to be taking off Monday for Christmas, so there will not be a daily news brief on Monday, but we will resume on Tuesday. And also, coming January 1st, we're going to be sliding this baby up till 7 a.m. in the morning, so you'll be able to get this on your drive into work. So make sure you are subscribed. It'll come right to your phone. Yesterday, County Executive Schuh announced a gift to hundreds of children across the county. The county will pay $25,000 and clear all accounts in the public schools for the meal program. The schools provide lunches and in some cases breakfast for children, and sometimes families don't have the money to pay for it. Schuh decided to wipe it out with a $25,000 check, and he said, quote, "The holiday season is a time for generosity and giving to those who need it the most. This small gesture is our way of showing that we understand the challenges that many working families in our county face." And School Superintendent George Arlotto said, "There is a great need across our county, and that need certainly impacts our students. This effort will certainly help those students and their families, and we are most appreciative." Good job, County Executive Schuh, for the kids that need it most in the county. In other school news, newly elected Alderwoman in Annapolis, Shanika Henson, has asked the school district not to renovate Tyler Heights Elementary School, but to replace the school. The school was scheduled to be revitalized, and according to Bob Moser, spokesman for the school district, a revitalization is essentially a gutting and a rebuilding of the school, but Henson feels that since this is a school that she went to when she was young, that it is probably way overdue to be replaced and is asking for the school district to consider a replacement. Speaking of Bob Moser, make sure you check out the Maryland Crabs episode this week. We talked with him, learned an awful lot. The Annapolis Housing Authority is concerned, as if they didn't have enough to worry about. The president's new tax bill may have an impact on Housing Authority in that investors may not need the low-income housing tax credits anymore, and developers are less likely to invest in redevelopment of the public housing communities here in Annapolis, many of which are very, very overdue. A Glen Burnie woman was arrested in Wicomico County after a large fight broke out. 7 were arrested after state police responded to a report of a fight with shots fired. Davon Wheelis, 19 of Glen Burnie, was arrested along with Arnell Bivens of Fruitland, Itana Satchel, Angela Collins, Leonard Pompilus, and Ellen Curry, all of Salisbury, and a juvenile female was also arrested. They were all charged with second-degree assault, some of them with additional drug and possession charges as well. It all started at about 10:30 p.m. Wednesday, police say, when a group went to a home to avenge a prior dispute. When the 4 suspects got to the house, they realized that there were a lot of people there and they fled the scene. Shortly before 1 a.m. yesterday, the 4 suspects returned with a second vehicle containing 3 additional people. The suspects approached the home on foot. They got into a physical altercation with the intended victim. The victim's parents called 911, and that's when somebody had pulled a gun, fired it into the air, and police were responding. Nobody was injured. Gun was fired into the air. When police arrived, they were able to locate one of the cars. It drove into a ditch, and police searched the area. We were able to recover a handgun as well as find the drugs that were in plain view inside of the car. Damn, you look hot today. And that's how an article in the website Vox.com started yesterday. And it recounted the story of Kate Havard, who was an intern for the Washington Post covering the Maryland Statehouse back in 2013, about her run-ins with lawmakers who catcalled her in front of large groups of people, invited her out on dates, and generally made her feel very uncomfortable. When reported to her supervisor, she was told, "Yeah, this is not a chick-friendly environment." Ultimately, Havard ended up leaving journalism and politics as well, and I suspect you're going to see some more news come out of this sexual harassment in our own Statehouse, probably this session, which starts up in January. That's about all we have for the news. We've got Kevin Chaney with some local sports coming up. I've got a brief rundown of some events that are happening this weekend. And then we also have George Young with your DMV weather, Christmas forecast, and beyond. Hang tight.
Did you know that more than 1,200 mental health patients had to be transferred last year by AAMC to facilities outside our area because these facilities do not exist right here in our own area? Denim and Diamonds is a fabulous, fun evening under the stars to support expanding mental health care in our community. AAMC Foundation proudly thanks RxNT for their generous $50,000 exclusive presenting sponsorship. Get more info at AAMCDenimandDiamonds.org.
This is Maryland. The weather can be nearly unpredictable. We've got George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis to sort it all out.
Hey everyone, this is George from DMV Weather with your Annapolis forecast for Friday, December 22nd. For today, we forecasted a target high temp of 52 degrees for downtown Annapolis and 53 degrees for BWI Airport. But that comes with clouds throughout the day today as a lead up to tomorrow's off and on showers with upper 50s and lower 60s ahead of a cold front. The upside at this point for the weekend is Sunday is now looking mostly, if not totally dry, although much cooler with normal temps in the 45 to 50 degree range, and then things start to get much more interesting from that point forward. First on that list is a small but still valid chance for some very light snow in the Annapolis area overnight Sunday night into Christmas morning. And while a statistical long shot, that means there's still a chance at even the slightest of white Christmases around here, so fingers crossed on that one. Next on that list is something that is much more certain, and that is an extended period of below average temps with highs next week generally only in the 30s, although there could be some 40s Monday or Tuesday. Then with a large and overall very cold Arctic air mass in place over pretty much most of the eastern half of the country next week, we are expecting highs of only 30 to 35 degrees for next Thursday's Military Bowl football matchup here in Annapolis between Virginia and Navy. The proverbial stage will be set for the final piece of this interesting puzzle, which is increased chances for winter weather to occur in our area. And there are already multiple chances of snow on the horizon that we'll be watching closely over the next several days, as we could be facing one or more significant snowstorms between December 29th and January 5th or 6th. And we'll go ahead and state now on 12/22 that we really like to set up for a snowstorm in the 12/29 to 12/31 timeframe, as the main ingredient, cold air, will be firmly entrenched in the skies above, and then we're likely to get precipitation moving in over top of all of it, resulting in snow. So stay tuned. Okay, that's it for us today. Be sure to download our free weather app in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store by searching for DC MDVA Weather, and also follow us 24/7, 365 on our website at dmvweather.com or on social media via Twitter or Facebook. And since we won't be back on the air until next Tuesday, let us take a moment to say right now, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Joyeux Noel, and overall happy holidays to all people of all faiths, races, nationalities, and beyond, even Cowboys and Yankees fans, and accept our sincerest wishes for the happiest and healthiest and safest of times, today through Monday, as you gather with family and friends and whomever else along the way. This is George Young of DMV Weather with your Annapolis forecast. Enjoy yourselves mightily this long holiday weekend, and remember, whatever the weather outside, have fun and be safe.
If you're looking for local sports, it's right here, right now on the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief.
Hey guys, Kevin here with your Eye on Sports, jumping right into boys varsity basketball. River Hill was at Old Mill. River Hill beat Old Mill. Centennial beat Meade. Annapolis beat Wild Lake. Hammond beat North County. Reservoir beat Arundel. Southern beat Long Reach. Oakland Mills beat Northeast. South River won in overtime against Marriott's Ridge. Mount Hebron beat Chesapeake. Over to girls varsity basketball. River Hill beat Southern. Long Reach beat Chesapeake. Mount Hebron beat Severna Park. South River beat Reservoir. Meade beat Centennial. Marriott's Ridge over Glen Burnie. Oakland Mills over Annapolis. Wild Lake over Northeast. And Hammond over North County. The Maryland Terrapins used a 24-0 run to end the first half to beat Fairleigh Dickinson 75-50. And finally, the self-imposed deadline for the Orioles to trade Manny Machado has come and gone, with the door not completely closed, as it is reported that the Orioles will still field offers looking for the perfect trade. That's all I got for you today. I'm Kevin. Have a Merry Christmas, and this has been your Eye on Sports.
Hey there, this is John Fernay, and the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief is sponsored by, well, it could be you. Podcasting is a growing trend, and since launching on September 1st, we have more than 10,000 downloads of this podcast, plus thousands of listens on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. In addition to our Facebook page, All Annapolis, and our Twitter account, we distribute the Daily News Brief to Apple Podcasts, which used to be called iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and the TuneIn app that can be played on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. We focus on local news, local weather, local events, and local sports, including high school and college. So our audience is pretty tightly targeted to the greater Annapolis area. And if you own or manage a local business, you're a likely customer. Intrigued? Well, here's something to think about. Your company could be featured on this daily podcast for less than $20 a day. Interested? Shoot me an email and let's talk. My email address is john@eyeonannapolis.net, and that's EYEONANNAPOLIS, but you already knew that, .net. Let's get together and see what we can make happen.
Need to make plans for the weekend? We got you covered. Here are our top picks. Be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net to sign up for the events newsletter with a listing of all the upcoming area events.
Well, with it being Christmas weekend, there is not a lot going on, but there are a few things that are of interest. If you are out and about down at City Dock, hop on the Jolly Express, and that's one of the watermark boats. I don't know whether it's the Miss Elizabeth or the Catherine Ann or whatever it was, but it's one of the smaller boats. They've got it all decorated like Rudolph, and they go on a 45-minute tour of Spa Creek in the Annapolis Harbor, and it's quite an interesting way to see the city, especially from water, especially during the holiday season with all the homes all decorated and everything else. They do serve hot chocolate, and they have some cookies on board, so check it out. It only runs through the end of the year, the Jolly Express. Of course, if you can get over to Sandy Point State Park, Lights on the Bay is still going on there as well. Saturday evening, the second annual Kringles Jingle over at Metropolitan. The Kringles Jingle Ball is only $12 to get in, and it is an all-ages extravaganza. That's my word, not theirs, because they're way too hip to use a word like that. Goes 6 p.m. to midnight. You're going to have live music, live art. You'll be able to purchase last-minute gifts, holiday drinks. They'll have snacks, free ho-hos. Tin Lizzy is going to bring their truck. They're going to have a pop-up shop right there on West Street. You're going to see art that's made. The music, they've got 13 different bands that are each going to play short little sets, mostly Christmas music. Alexander Peters, Dominic Fragman, Sean Shakaya, Jordan Sokol, Doug Segree, Sean Owen, Sarah Page, Mackenzie, Michael K, Lucia O, La Rosa, Scribe, Swilly, and 100% of the ticket sales goes directly to the artist. It's only $12 to get in, 6 p.m. to midnight, December 23rd at Metropolitan. It's the second annual Kringles Jingle. And for those that may not be celebrating Christmas, or somebody that wants to laugh on Christmas night, Ram's Head on Stage is open, and they have Sam Altman's Jumongous. And this is a former Rockapella star, so it's bawdy, it's funny, it's music, it's comedy, it's clever, it's a little bit of everything. Sean Altman's Jumongous. There are tickets still available. Showtime is at 7:30. You can get them at ramsheadonstage.com. And that's about it for the events this weekend. We will be back again on Tuesday. I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and please be safe this weekend.
Thanks for listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. If you like what you heard, make sure to tell your friends and colleagues about it. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find much more. Be sure to check out our other weekly podcast, The Maryland Crabs. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at noon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.